You can't really see it, so I'm gonna have to just show it like this. It's Rick. Hey everybody, Ash here with Gents with my top 10 niche fragrance list for winter 2018-2019. So I did the designer list not very long ago. It actually ran way too long. So now there are two versions of that up. The full version and then the one where I cut out as much as I possibly could and made a shorter version, which was still like 14 minutes long. So on this one, I'm gonna really try to get through these as quick as possible so I don't end up with another 20-minute video. So without further ado, let's jump into this top 10 winter fragrances, niche and indie edition. So in this list, there are no honorable mentions. We're just jumping straight into the top 10. First up is a fragrance from the House of Andy Tower, one that's been hyped and talked about for years and years and years as a classic, as a masterpiece, and I completely agree. It is this fragrance, Tower L'air du Désert Maracan. L'air du Désert Maracan. Jesus. Amber, coriander, cedar, and vetiver are some of the notes here, but really this isn't the type of fragrance where you just go by a generic note breakdown. This is a fragrance that you can say is fragrance as art. Like some people will say that for certain fragrances, you know, it's not really something that you necessarily wear to just go out and smell good to other people. It's something that you wear as a piece of art. This is definitely that. And this is one that I will always keep in my collection just because I love to experience how it smells. It's not one that I necessarily will grab and spray on to wear if I'm going out somewhere, you know, if I'm going out to meet with friends or going out to dinner or something. It's not a fragrance I'll wear for that. It's one that I wear just because I like how it smells. So this is definitely not the type of fragrance that I would say, oh, wear this, you'll get tons of compliments. Not that it can't pull compliments because it doesn't smell funky or off-putting or anything like that. It's just not that type of fragrance. Opens up very bold, rich, and dry with just a blast of spice and underlying woods. It smells fantastic. And the dry down is smooth, warm, and sweet with amber, cedar, and vetiver. And it does seem like to an extent that this fragrance is love it or hate it, and most people fall on the love it side of things. The reason I have it at 10 is because it's not one, again, that I'm gonna wear out in public all that much. It's one that I wear more just for myself. It's almost an experience more than it is just a fragrance. And I know it might sound a little goofy to those of you out there who maybe haven't smelled it or haven't been into fragrances for a really long time. But the way that Andy Tower himself describes the scent is a really good way to kind of envision how this smells and how it can kind of transport you somewhere. Imagine finding peace in a room, lying on the bed, exhausted from the heat of the day, with the window open, letting the cool air in, which still is very dry, and filled with the scents from the near desert and overlaid with the spicy scents of the streets below. That's as good a way as any to describe this one, and it's at number 10. Gonna take me to number 8. It's a fragrance from the House of Gallagher Fragrances, one that I've reviewed very recently, and one that I actually featured in a recent smell and rate video with my wife, which is not out yet, but will be out very soon. It is this fragrance, Gallagher Fragrances, Rosé All Day. Notes on this one are right on the bottle, pretty easy to read off there. Apple crisp, plum, dark rose, brown sugar, tonka bean, and stainless steel. Very sweet and warm off the top. I get a big dose of sugar, a little bit of rose, I get the plum, the apple crisp. Smells really nice and gourmandy. It's also very boozy, and that rich sweetness that you get off the top, it carries out throughout the entire life of the fragrance. So if you like fragrances like Wajan or Ombre Narguilé, things that are sweet, boozy, rich, then you'll probably like this one. Performance on this one is also very good. It'll last you through the day very easily. Good projection, good longevity, solid all the way through. To date, this is my favorite release from Gallagher Fragrances. I do feel like Daniel Gallagher, the owner slash perfumer, is just getting more and more talented as time goes, so I'm really pumped to see what else he comes out with in the future. But to date, this one's my favorite. And I do think it's a perfect holiday fragrance, much in the same way that Burberry London is considered a really good fragrance for the holidays. This one is as well. So number 9, Gallagher Fragrances Rosé All Day, super solid. Coming in at number 8 is Parfums Cartana release that I got not that long ago. It's one that I'm looking forward to wearing this winter. Definitely a very unique one. It is this one, Wolfsbane by Parfums Cartana. Truffle, absinthe, tuberose, fig leaf, and tobacco blossom are some of the notes here. And this one is going to be for the really adventurous guys out there. This is not your typical men's fragrance. Wolfsbane, on top of having a really cool name, It's a very dark, earthy, spicy fragrance. Very strong, easily will last you all day, projects very strongly off my skin as well. And a really simple way of putting it, it's like if you took Tom Ford's Black Orchid, made it higher quality, and made its performance much higher. Because there is a similarity between how Black Orchid and Wolfsbane smell. It opens up with this earthy and bitter absinthe and truffle notes, and through the life of the fragrance it has spicy facets, earthy facets, it's dark, it's a little floral. It's just really, really nice, very well done. It's gonna have you smelling completely different than anybody else out there. Number 7 is an Imaginary Authors fragrance. Everybody here knows I really, really like Imaginary Authors fragrances. This is one that I reviewed early on in my channel's lifespan. One of the first reviews that I really did, I think. And it is this one, Memoirs of a Trespasser. Oh God, it smells good. It's really, really nice. I'm almost thinking that I should have bumped this up. Another easy one to tell the notes on because they're on the bottle. Madagascar vanilla, Gaiac wood, myrrh, bergamot, benzoin resin, and Brett seeds, and oak barrels. Opens really smoky and woody with a great dry vanilla. This fragrance gets compared sometimes to this one, By the Fireplace. Though between the two, I prefer Memoirs of a Trespasser. The smoke in it is more pronounced, it smells of higher quality, just more in line with what I like. It dries down to a vanilla wood fragrance with myrrh and kind of a vanilla pipe tobacco scent going on. I would say that between By the Fireplace and Memoirs of a Trespasser, that By the Fireplace is more affordable, so if that's important to you, that one is going to be a little easier on the wallet. You get more milliliters for a similar price, but Memoirs of a Trespasser, just in my opinion, a much higher quality fragrance, more masculine as well, and one that I really, really am looking forward to wearing this winter. It's gonna take me to number 6. It is a Rosa Parfums fragrance. Again, this one, you know, a little bit more adventurous than what some people may be comfortable wearing. I don't think it's too far out there myself. It's this one, Fetish. And I have the Eau de Parfum. It also comes in a Parfum concentration. So Rosa Parfums fragrances are really expensive. These are not the most affordable niche fragrances out there. If you're interested in buying Rosa Parfums fragrances or sampling them or anything like that, you have to go to Alan at Beverly Hills Perfumery. Just straight up, anything from this house that I get, I go through him. I'll leave his information in the description. There are gonna be a lot of people that comment on this that have purchased from him in the past and they can back up what I'm saying, but he'll hook you up with samples. He'll just hook you up in general. Make sure to reach out to him if you're interested in this house. And I don't get any kickback or anything. I don't have like a sponsorship thing with him. It's just he's legit my hookup for this house. Now this fragrance has a ton of notes, which with this house is par for the course. Pretty much all of the fragrances that Rosa Parfums releases have just a ton of notes. In the opening, the main things you're gonna get are a blast of sharp citrus, castoreum, and leather. And as it dries down, you get different stages of the fragrance. There's some cinnamon and cardamom that come in, some florals as well. But the main thing you're gonna pick up from this fragrance is the castoreum and the leather. And castoreum is a very animalic note. It can smell like a very strong, tarry leather. This one may be a little too adventurous for some people because it does have a little bit of a, some people call it a stink. I don't really think it stinks myself. I think it smells really nice. It's very heady and sexy, a little bit dirty, but that can be a good thing. This is maybe not as much for somebody who's looking for just a straight up mass appealing everyday wear kind of fragrance, but if you're looking for a super high quality, sexy, in your face, a little bit dirty, a little bit funky fragrance, this one's for you. Definitely don't knock it until you smell it. Fetish. Gonna take me to number 5. This one is very ambery fragrance, which you can probably tell just by the coloration of the fragrance. It is Mask Milano Tango. Amber, cumin, tonka, cardamom, and cinnamon are some of the notes here. This one opens with spice and amber and a little bit of smoke, and it's got kind of a syrupy sweet feel in the opening, and off my skin, that lasts for most of the life of the fragrance. And it also has cumin. Cumin is a note that freaks a lot of people out because it has kind of an association to smelling like body odor. Don't worry about that in this fragrance, it doesn't come across that funky. I can pick up the cumin, but it doesn't smell like sweat or anything like that. More than anything, it just gives kind of a dusty feel to the fragrance. As it dries down, it's mainly a woody and sweet ambery fragrance with that syrupy kind of feel that I talked about in the opening. That remains on my skin through the dry down. Longevity and sillage on this, really, really good. Easily cuts through the cold weather, lasts all day. One thing that I will warn you about though is where the fragrance is this dark coloration. If you spray this directly onto white clothing, it might stain it. So be careful with this one, make sure not to ruin your clothing. At number 5, Mask Milano Tango. Gonna take me to number 4, which is a Serjov, Casamarati. And this one is unique because it's mainly floral off my skin, and it's the only fragrance here, other than maybe Wolfsbane in its own kind of way, that's a floral. But this one differs because it's a very fresh floral, but still a great fall and winter fragrance, is this one, 1888. Amber carnation and sandalwood are gonna be the main notes that I get from this one. And this stuff is rich. As soon as you spray it on, just very, very rich and very, very fresh off the top. It's just a fantastic floral spice blend. As soon as you spray it on, that carnation is just amazing. It smells great. And that spice blend in the opening is cardamom, saffron, and pepper. And with that combination, it's also almost a little bit brisk in the opening. The dry down has a sweet amber mixing with sandalwood, ylang-ylang, and also the carnation from the opening. There's also a woody birch note in the base, just all combined. It's an amazing smelling fragrance. In the dry down, it's almost like a honeyed take on freshness and warm woods and ambers. This one has a very addictive quality to it. The more you wear it, the more you like it. Again, the only one here that really has a fresh floral kind of scent profile to it, but the sweetness and the warmth and the other notes helps it cut through the cold. Number 4, 1888. Number 3 is a Fort and Manley fragrance, a house I'm actually really impressed by. I only own 2 of their fragrances, but I've tried others and I've liked all of them. The one that made the cut on this list is this one, Amber Absolutely. Really, really like the metal plaques on these bottles as well. They look very nice, if you can see that. You would probably think that this is going to be a clone or inspired by Tom Ford Amber Absolute, which I do own. But Amber Absolutely is its own fragrance completely. Amber, plum, labdanum, and benzoin, some of the main notes here. Amber is the main note in this fragrance, which you would expect since it's called Amber Absolutely. You also have some fruity notes off the top, plum and blackcurrant, which mix in with the warm, sweet amber. Smells very, very nice. As it dries down, you've got some woody notes in the base, as well as some honey-like resins that mix with that warm amber. If you're really into amber fragrances, you owe it to yourself to check this one out at the very least, because in my opinion, it's in the upper echelon of amber-centric fragrances. Performance on my skin, very strong, lasts all day, easily cuts through the cold. Number 3, Fort and Manley, Amber Absolutely. We're in the final 2, and I've got to tell you, number 2 is more an all year kind of fragrance, but it's one that I wear a lot in winter, so it's on the list. It is a Creed fragrance, so I'm sure that most of you out there know what this one is. It's Creed A Ventus. Pineapple, birch, musk, blackcurrant, ambergris, you know the notes. It's A Ventus. I mean, I'm not sure how much I need to tell you guys. Most of you probably are already aware of this one. People call it the king of men's fragrances. There are a million different clones of this out there that you can get a hold of, both cheap clones, expensive clones, mid-range clones. It's A Ventus. Very well known for the pineapple, blackcurrant opening. Also well known for that birch and ambergris dry down, especially the smokier birch in some of the earlier batches. And that's one of the big things with the Ventus too, batch variations. If you're unaware of what that is, it's basically each batch of A Ventus smells a little bit different. So some of them are more sought after than others because some might have a fruitier smell and others might have a smokier smell. They're not all the exact same. Ultra versatile. Wear it day, night, wear it to the office, wear it out on the town, wear it casually, wear it formally, wear it anywhere. Compliment getter, people love it. It's Creed A Ventus. Number 2. And number 1, also a huge compliment getter, mass appealing, people-pleasing fragrance from the house of Parfums de Marly, Leighton. For the record, I own Leighton exclusive too, but I prefer Leighton between the 2. Apple, vanilla, cardamom, lavender, some of the notes here. Some people will say that this is like a a more niche version of Hugo Boss bottled, and there are some similarities there. It's not the exact same, but it's in the ballpark. It does smell great though, I can't lie about that. It's a supreme people pleaser. It's got really good performance. It'll last all day and all night. It's got a strong, dense vanilla with lavender and cardamom. Also has a really nice green apple note that's in the opening, and that apple note carries on through most of the life of the fragrance. And this is another one like A Ventus that you can wear day or night and in almost any situation. Leighton is a bit sweeter than A Ventus though, so I think the versatility is not quite as high as A Ventus if you don't want to wear something very sweet like to a business meeting maybe, but it's close in terms of versatility. And as it comes to Leighton and A Ventus, my wife absolutely loves both of these fragrances, so they're easy reaches for me. They're ones that I can wear in almost any situation. I know my wife is going to love it, other people are going to love it. They're just easy fragrances to wear because they just smell so nice. So that's why they're at number 1 and 2, Leighton and A Ventus, just hyper versatile and people love them. And I love them too, just for the record. So that's it, my top 10 niche and indie list, winter 2018-2019. Let me know what you're wearing in the comments. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.